In Java, conditional statements control the flow of execution based on whether a condition is true or false. They allow your program to make decisions. That is, if a certain condition is true, then a block of statement is executed, otherwise, not. We have certain types of conditional statements in Java. Let's see one by one. So, the first one will be if statement, which executes a block only if the condition is true. So here's the syntax. So we'll have a if keyword and followed with a condition within a small bracket, then the required statement within flower bracket. So you need to have if, then required condition, then whatever the statement you want, you can add it within the flower bracket. So here in this example, I'm passing int age value and I'm checking whether the provided value is greater than or equal to 18 or not. If it's greater than or equal to 18, then I am printing saying you are eligible to vote. So if this condition matches, the statement will be executed. Otherwise, it will just come out of if condition. Then we have if else statement. So this chooses between two paths, that is if and else, based on the condition. So this in a similar way, like if this condition is not matched, we can have a else statement as well, saying you are not eligible to vote. Same way, here I am in this example, I am checking whether provided value is even or not. How we can do that is like if any value is even, then it will the when you divide it with a 2, the remainder will be 0. So whenever you divide any value with a 2, the remainder will be 0. So that is even. So what I am doing here is I'm passing the value, I'm checking the condition using modulus. So when you divide any value with 2 and if it provides a remainder as 0, then that will be considered as an even number, otherwise it's an odd number. So the syntax is similar to the previous one, that is if and followed with a condition, then enclosed within flower bracket, then we have else, and again flower bracket and the statement. Then we have if else ladder. So it is a combination of both, like we'll have if, then another statement is else if. You can have multiple else if statements, and at the end you can have else also. So here the first thing is what I'm doing is like I'm passing the input like int as a marks. So I'm checking whether provided value is greater than or equal to 90. So if it is greater than 90, then show it to the console saying grade A, the provided value is grade A. Then if it is greater than or equal 75, then grade B, or if it is greater than 60, then show grade C, otherwise fail. So this is the same syntax like if and the condition, and else if condition braces add the statements. You can have again multiple statements here, and at the end a else statement. If none of this matches, the final statement will be executed. Then we have a switch statement. This is best for checking exact matches like menu options or fixed values. So here I have a syntax, like the syntax for switch is the switch keyword with the condition, and it will check. There will be a cases like case one, that is whether the password value is this or not. Then if the case is one, then show the statements or show the message and break. So once the statement is executed, it will break here. Then again it will check for case 2, means if this is not matched, it will come here. Again it will come, means you can have number of cases, and at the end you will have a default one, so which shows the default value. So in this example I am passing a day value saying a 3. What happens is it will come here, it will check the case 1, where if the provided value is 1, then it will print Monday. So as provided value is 3, it will come to case 3, means here what the condition is checked. If you have a string value, it will check whether the provided is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or not. Based on your requirement, you can have the case conditions. If none of this is matched, then invalid date is printed. Then we have a ternary operator, which you already seen in her previous video. So it's a compact way to write a simple conditional assignments. Instead of having if else statement, you can have a single ternary operator. Like here you can see I have a condition. If this is true, A will be assigned to max. Otherwise, B will be assigned to the max. So here what we are doing is like it is just checking the whether A is greater than B. If not, it will print B. If it is greater, it will print A. So in this case, it will print B. The maximum is B. So this is the high level explanation on conditional statement in Java. Let's see a simple example. So here is an example to check a student result system. I have if condition, I have if else and switch condition. So first I will get the input from the user using scanner. Then I will store it in the int variable marks. Then check the condition. If the marks is it's not less than 0 and greater than 100, or if user provides less than 0 or greater than 100, I will show a message saying invalid marks. So here I am using if condition. There is no else. It's just if statement. Then I have if else condition, checking whether the provided marks is greater than or equals 35. If it is greater than or equals 35, I will show or I will show the message saying status is pass. If it's less than 35, then status is failed. Then I have a third example, that is if else a ladder. So if this is the what I shown before, like if the provided marks is greater than or equal 90, then the grade will be A. And again, based on the marks, 75 it's B, 60 it's C, 45 it's D, 35 is E. Otherwise, it's fail. If it is less than 35, then the grade is F. Then I will show the grade. Then I have switch statements. So based on the grade. So if the grade is A, I will print remark as excellent, and I will break the condition, and I'll come out of the program. So here I'm showing the messages based on the grade. So I have a case for A, case for B, case for C based on the character condition. So if the character is C, remark is good. If character is D, remark is average. So I have excellent, very good, good, average, just pass and fail. Then at last I have a ternary operator for scholar label. So if the marks is greater than 90, he will be a scholar. Otherwise, the label will be regular. I will be having the condition, and based on the condition, I'll be assigning label to the string label variable, and I'm printing the label. So let me execute this. So once you execute it, will prompt you for provide the input. I will give a 95. So the status is pass. Status is pass. Then grade is A because it's greater than 90. Then it is check for the remark. The remark is excellent because the case is A. Then using ternary operator, I am giving the label. Student type is scholar. Same way, if I try to give less than 35, you can see status is fail, grade is F, remark is fail, student type is regular. Yeah, this is all about conditional statements in Java. In Java, loops are used to repeat a block of code multiple times based on a condition. They are essential for a task like iterating through arrays, performing calculation repeatedly, or automating repetitive actions. So we have certain types of loops in Java. Let's see one by one. So the first one will be a for loop. So used when you know in advance how many times to loop. So you know the condition and you know the iteration count and all. So in that case, you can use for loop. So the syntax for loop is you have to use a for keyword. Then there are three things, like you have to initialize the iteration value, then the condition, like when to end and when to start, then update. So the iteration count one, like here you have to initialize and you have to update the counter, and if all is matched, then execute the code. Here is an example. As I mentioned, first we need to have for keyword, then initialize. So here you need to initialize the variable. Um, Here you can see I have int equals 1, then the condition. So the statement will be executed only if this condition is matched. So it's just checking whether I provided or the initialized value is less than 5 or not. Yes, so it will print the counter. So it will print the count. Then the next time it will increment it and check the condition. Again, it will increment and check the condition, increment and check the condition. That's how it works. So until it reaches 5, then after 5, it will break the loop. Then we have a while loop used when the number of iteration is unknown. So checks the condition before executing. So what happens is in for loop condition, so you have to provide all the inputs within the for loop statement itself. But in case of a while loop, you just need to have a condition, iteration, and the initialization you can have outside and inside. Like this iteration you can have inside the a block, and the initialization you can have outside. So here is an example. The syntax is while and condition. Within the braces you will have the statements. Again, I have a while loop with the condition. The same condition I have added within while block. Then the initialization is outside the while or before the while statement. Then if the condition is matched, it will print the number and increment it, like it's just a counter. Then it will iterate until it breaks the condition. Then there is a while loop. It's like a do while loop. It's like a while loop, but execute at least once because the condition is checked after the loop. So only difference between do and do while loop and while loop is here we have a condition check before execution of first statements. So I have a do. The syntax is a do keyword, and within braces add this required statements. Then check the condition. The same thing, I'm initializing the counter, then executing the value or executing the statements, then increment it, check the condition. If the condition matched, go inside the loop. So loop until it breaks the condition. Then we have announced for loop. It's for arrays or collections or object, a list of objects. So here I have an example of array which has 4 numbers. Then the syntax is for and add the data type, the iteration data type. Then have any temporary variable, then pass the required array or iteration need to be iterated value, so which need to be iterated. So here you can see I have a number, so I'm passing number here, then printing the values here. So here no condition is required. I like id will take care of it. So you just need to pass the value and the data type which you need to iterate. Then we have a loop statements. So we have break and continue. Break is to exit the loop immediately, and continue is to skip the current iteration and go to the next one. So break we have seen in the switch statement. The same thing can be used in loop as well. So if you want to break the loop, if you want to come out of the loop, you can use break statement. Or if you want to skip any certain conditions or a certain iteration, you can use continue. So in this example, it will iterate till 5, like 1 to 5. Once it reach 5, it will check for the condition whether it's a 6. If the iteration or the counter is 6, then it will break the loop. Same way it will iterate 1 2 on 3, it will skip the iteration and it will print 4 and 5. So 1 2 4 5 will be printed. To summarize, like we have for loop for known number of iteration, we have a while loop for unknown iteration and it checks before loop, and we have a do while execute once and check the condition, again loop if condition is matched. Then we have for each It's an enhanced one for arrays or collections. I have a simple um, table example and as well as a countdown example. Like here I'm using for loop, while loop, and outside I have a do while loop and also for each one. So the first is like I'm getting the input from the user, that is choice. So before calculating the choice, I'll be executing the do one. So you can see here I have a do loop, do while loop, that is do, which will execute all these statements, then check the condition. If the provided choice is y, then again it will execute the statements. At first, I will get the input from the user, like enter a number of multiplication table. So if you provide one, it will print you one table. Like what I'm doing is I'm getting the int value, then printing multiplication table for, then using for loop, just number into, means number into the counter. Like if you provide 5, the first iteration will be 5 into 1, next iteration will be 5 into 2. It will iterate till 10. Once it reaches 11, if the counter is 11, then it will come out of the loop. Then I have a while loop. It's just a countdown one. Whatever the number you have passed, it will just give the countdown. Here I'm using like int. Then once it reaches 0, it will when once it reaches less than 0, it will come out of the loop. Then the enhanced loop, just to print the provided array. At last, you can see here, I'm checking the choice. If the choice, provided choice is y, then it will come out of the, if it provided choice is not y, it will come out of the loop. So let's execute this now. So I'll be getting the input value. So that is enter a number of multiplication table. Sorry, let me execute this. Here you can see enter a number of multiplication table. So I will give 5, enter. So you can see I'm printing, means how I'm printing is I'm just getting the number and the counter value 5, 1 is 5 again. It's a table of 5. Then enter a number to count down from. So let's 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. When it reaches 0, it will decrement it. So now value is negative, so it will come out of the loop. So again, do you want to run again? So how it happens is now it's a for each one, the enhanced for loop. So you can see it loops all the provided array values 75, 85, 90, 65 and 88. Then at last I'm checking whether you want to run again. If I give y, then enter the table again, it will loop here. So let me give 2. So it prints the 2 table. Then the countdown for 6, you can see from 6 to 0 it printed. Then again for loop 1, then again it will ask whether you want to run again. Check no, so program ended, goodbye. This is the simple example on Java loops. So I have covered all the loop statement available in Java. The same thing will be available in my Git repository. You can check